Hello, people, and welcome back to the Too Relatable podcast. This is the second episode. If you don't know what this podcast is a way for me to talk to myself like I used to as a kid. There's no limits to my thoughts, and there's no scientific facts involved, actually. Well, not all the time, but we try to, at least for this season. Now, let me give you a fun fact, actually two facts about this episode. Well, first fact is, this is the third time I'm shooting this episode. The first time I almost finished it. I got 60% into it, or 70%. The second time I only did the introduction, talked a little bit, but so that's all right. There's something wrong with my settings. In fact, I'm shooting using my iPhone and I'm laying down in my couch. This is how this podcast is going to be. This is just two buddies hanging out, all right? It's like you're my friends. You're over here in my house, sitting with me, just having fun. We're just talking for no reason. Well, there is a reason, but it's fun. It's fun here. There's nothing official. So yeah, I'm laying down. So excuse me if the audio is not that great. I'm just using my iPhone because I feel like it, you know? I feel like me doing this podcast that way means me enjoying it and doing more. So let's talk about today's topic. Today's topic is going to be social media. And we are going to talk about social media in general. Like, if you know this show, you know that I don't prepare anything for it. I only prepare the topic, the title, and that's pretty much it. We get into conclusions during the podcast. So let's start talking about social media and the internet in general, actually. But specifically social media. So actually social media is something that everyone their mother talked about. It's not a rare topic that you will see on social media or on the internet or anywhere. You will everywhere. It's like everywhere. Even you probably have written a paragraph about the advantages and disadvantages of social media, pros and cons, at school or, I don't know, anywhere. So you probably talked about it too. You have maybe you have opinions about it. Maybe you did not really think about it that much, maybe. I'm not sure, I'm not judging, I'm just guessing. Maybe you did not think about it deeply enough, just like me. Like, I've written paragraphs in school about social media, where I start thinking about advantages and disadvantages. And that's pretty much it. That's the approach. This is our approach to social media. Advantages, disadvantages. Social media good, social media bad. That's it. That's pretty much what I've seen. Well, of course, the majority are saying it's balanced. Like they say, there's pros and cons, and you know, it depends on the person. Well, I agree, but I want to approach this from another point, or from, I don't know. I want to approach it from another approach, if you know what I mean, because sometimes it's good to change your approach to the subject. So let me tell you about myself first, my story with social media and internet in general. I was born in 2001. So when I was growing up, I was actually growing up with social media. We were evolving together. In fact, I learned how to use a computer and how to write down a gaming website on Internet Explorer and start playing before I learned the alphabets. And I learned the alphabets like maybe 3 years old, or I think 3 years old or 4 years old. I started reading very early. And I started using computers even earlier, before I even learned how to read alphabets. I used to remember the keys that I have to press in order to get to that website. And I still remember situations where people were amazed by it. They would come and see me. I'm still very young. And this is me flexing, sorry. But this is my story. I'm just telling you, this is my story with the internet and social media. So I believe I'm someone who grew up in that area where social media was born. I evolved with it. So this is my opinion, or this is my view to the social media. So I wonder how people who were born after me think about it, and people who were born before me view it. So I think it's very different. People who were born after me, like with 5 years or something, when they started perceiving the world, they started understanding the world, social media already exists. It's something there. It's just like water. It's there. It's not like me. I was watching it. So we came out to this world together. You know? We were both babies. Me and social media. We have a connection there. And for people who were born before me, they didn't have it. They did not have those websites. So it was something strange that came into their lives. And it's interesting to think about it that way. Like, everyone views social media in a different way, depending on when you were born. And let's think about it also in the regions. It's very different. Social media is very different from place to place, from region to another, from Western culture to Eastern culture. It's very different. So let me tell you, when I was growing up, I mainly witnessed the birth of Facebook and YouTube. Instagram came in later, which everyone was present for its birth, I guess. But for YouTube, for example, let me tell you about YouTube. Back then, I did not speak English. I only spoke Arabic and French, but mainly Arabic. So it was very different for the growth of YouTube in the Arabic region, I'll call it. Arabic region. I'm not from the Middle East, by the way, so that's why I'm saying Arabic. The Arabic region was very different from the Western region, as I found out later on when I started watching English YouTubers or Western YouTubers. It was very different. Like, they did not evolve in the same way. They did not grow up in the same pace and same way. The Arabic YouTube scene was very late to the party, I would say, or the Western side was earlier, I would say. So I'll tell you that I was watching YouTube, but it was all garbage content. I would say that. It was good content, but it's still garbage. It was like watching funny videos, compilations, and soccer videos, and that's pretty much it. That's what you're getting on YouTube. Songs, of course, But there wasn't any personalities that were filming themselves and uploading it to YouTube. There was no YouTuber. There's nothing like YouTuber. They came in later on, and even when people started making YouTube videos, it was like, most of it was formal. It was people making top 10 facts or how broccoli is good for your health and tech reviews. There was no person who's like entertainment. No YouTuber in the terms of nowadays, like YouTuber. You know what I mean. A YouTuber who makes vlogs and yeah, he makes everything. So it was different. That's something fascinating to me too. So when you're talking about social media, it's very different. They are not all the same. So that's interesting. I have to cough, but I have to hold it. All right, let's keep on going. So, as I've said, it's very different. It's strange at the same time, I would say, because I feel like that's why I missed out on the early train of posting. I did not know that you can post in the first place, that you can record yourself and post it on YouTube. Well, I feel sad now, but it's alright. So, yeah, I never had the idea of, you can become a YouTuber. You can film yourself and just upload it, because no one did it back then. As far as I know, I haven't seen someone filming himself talking about whatever and posting it. Nothing. But on the other side, on the Western side, there is PewDiePie and all these other YouTubers that started making content, creating content. And that takes us to the second point. When we talk about social media and its effects on us, there's two ways of using social media. You're either a creator or a consumer. And the creator is a consumer as well. So we're all consumers, but there's creators. If you are a creator, there's other advantages and disadvantages for social media. And you'll start having other things that you have to worry about or to think about. One of them is consuming. Being a consumer and a creator at the same time, you really need to think about it. Because for me, as far as I know, I think that consuming social media will kill, or consuming a lot of social media or media in general will kill your creativity, will kill your productivity, and even for consumers actually, but especially for those who want to pursue a career in social media. And that's what I'm trying to cut off. I want to consume as less media as possible. I'm trying. Trust me. It's not going very well, but I'm trying. At least I know, alright? At least I know that. Well, knowing without acting is nothing, so yeah. But my point is, if you're a creator, there's different rules or different ways to look at social media, I believe. In case, or if you want to be successful, or maybe you don't care, you're just creating for fun. You have a six-figure company on the side, or you don't care about money. That's understandable. Each person is different. But I'm talking about the general idea that if you are a creator, consume less content, please. And that's my opinion, of course. You don't have to do it. It's your life, not mine. And yeah, you can't. I'm probably not in the best position to give. Sorry, I'm gonna cough. Sorry, I had to let it out. I'm not in the best position to give advices on social media because I'm not that big. I started way too, I would say, very late. Got late to the party. But it's not impossible. But yeah, generally I would say that consume less for creators. Now let's talk about consumers, which is everyone, probably everyone in the world. It's social media and internet is almost like water, especially. Well, social media, I think everyone uses it in the Western world. I would say 99% of people are using it in some way or another. But and also here, the region factor plays a big role again. If you go to third world countries, you'll see that older people are not using it. They're having fun just drinking tea and playing chess. They're still enjoying that normal life. But they're also getting to the Western world position now, but later. It takes more time to get there, but they are all getting to the same points. But each one is evolving at their own pace. But at one point or another, they're getting to the same goal or same point. Everyone uses social media and relies on it. And that's something scary. When you think that a few companies, there's only like maybe 5 companies that are controlling the social media world. And when you're saying social media world, you're basically saying the internet. At this point, you can say that social media is the internet. They're controlling it. If you want to advertise your website, you need to advertise it on social media. That's 99% of the time, unless you are using Google Ads, which, yeah, you can. Even Google Ads is like YouTube. You really need YouTube. What I'm saying is, social media is becoming like water. People who are born now, they're growing up watching social media. They're consuming social media. It's something very necessary. And who's controlling it? A few companies, a few big companies. And yeah, I hope that they keep up the good work. I hope that they don't mess it up and become, I don't know, it can go really bad really quickly if you have few people in control. And there is no competition, by the way. If you think that there is any competition, there isn't. There is nothing. Even if you are a genius and you come up with a new app idea, they will either offer you a big check to buy your company or your app, and you take the $1 billion and retire happily, or you decide to compete with them and make your app or company bigger and get crushed by them. They can just copy what you did, and that's pretty much it. They already have the audience. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. There's no way around it. Bye-bye. They can just copy the same idea and they can make it even better than yours. And you're done. You'll run out of business. This is how powerful they are now. Google and Facebook and Microsoft, of course. A few other companies, Amazon. Anyways, you get the idea. So, yeah, this is pretty interesting. Now, as a consumer, we're consuming a lot of social media now. And if you're not sure, you can check your screen time on your settings. You see that you're spending a lot of time on social media. That goes from YouTube to Instagram to Twitter, whatever. Whatever it might be. Reddit, whatever it might be. So let me think about it. Is it good? Is it bad? I'd say that it's normal. Some people will disagree, but I think it's normal. I don't think that it changed a lot of things. I mean, it changed things to the better, to a more positive world. This is what I see it as. There's always bad sides, of course, but I see it as a good thing. If you are saying people are getting worse and, I don't know, posting racist stuff or whatever, that's just exposing their real selves. They were just like that before social media. It's not like something new. It's not like when they signed up to make a new Facebook account, all of a sudden they're racists. No, they're already racists who are getting exposed on social media. And social media also exposes bad things that are happening in the world. And you start seeing the world in a different picture through social media. I feel like social media is making the world, I don't know, really a small world. I know you heard that a lot. It's making us a small world. It's really making us a small world in thinking, in the way that people think. What I have noticed is that people are thinking almost in the same, well, not in the same way, but there's a lot of similarities, a lot of good opinions are being shared, just like climate change. Right, sorry, the recording stopped recording for some reason, but as I was saying, the world is getting small because we're sharing almost the same ideas now, the same way of thinking, not 100%, I would say 50%, but that's significantly better than before. So that's what makes me think that social media is a good thing to the world. And it's helping the world get better. But also there is cons. Well, did not want to approach this subject from pros and cons, but here we are. We approached the situation from another approach, but at the end, we are down to the pros and cons. Well, let's talk about the cons. There's some cons that, I don't know, not sure if they're really cons, like the agenda and people making things up, the lies that are spreading through social media, which is something that happens even before social media. So that's why I don't believe that it's a con, really. It's became much easier, of course, but it's still the same thing that happened before. That's why I'm not blaming it on social media. So I'm thinking about something that is really bad on social media. Something that is really bad I would say it's fame, maybe. Yeah, it's fame. People really want to become famous, but it's something rare. It's something rare that you see someone doing something bad just to be famous, be internet famous, socially famous. I mean, there's a lot of cringy stuff on social media, things that I hate, things that I don't like, I don't support, but it's not something that I will blame on social media. It's not something that I will blame on social media itself. I see social media as something that is product of us. It's not something that aliens made. It's made by people. Probably Zuckerberg. Yeah, Zuckerberg. You know, the bird guy? The reptile. But yeah, it's something that people are creating. It's not Zuckerberg that is making all these posts. They made the apps. They are running the apps and they add the rules. But people are running it. People are the ones running social media. They're the ones who like pictures, videos, whatever, and they're the ones posting them. They're the ones who chose to support something. They're the ones who are following other people. Of course, bots are with us too, but generally it's people. So it's just the byproduct of people. It's just bringing what's inside people. So I see it as a good thing. So yeah, that's what I think about social media. It was painful to record this podcast because of some issues with settings, but it was interesting to get to the conclusion. The main conclusion that I got is that social media is at different states in each region. It's really different. I'm bilingual. I actually speak French, English, and Arabic, so when I look at content in each language, it's very different. There's different personalities, I would say, but there's always this something that is linking them together as time goes on. As time goes on, I can see them sharing the same humor almost, I would say. Not the same, it's not the same, but there's a small link between them. There's this fine line that is getting connected between people. They start sharing the same memes. There is these memes that are international. They're funny. Internationally. So yeah, that's a very great conclusion that we came up to. You know, me and you. I'm just speaking, you're listening, right? So I hope you traveled with me as well and used your imagination to think about it in a different way. But at the end, we came up to the same approach, the pros and cons. Seems like you're stuck there. As I've said, social media, I think, is just a mirror of ourselves. And that's my opinion on it after this podcast. There's no... I don't know. It feels weird that I didn't find any negative sides to social media. Maybe because I like it a lot. As I've said, we were born together, we grew up together, so there's some connection between me and social media. I'm really fascinated about technology in general. That's why I'm studying software engineering. I lived my whole life with technology. La technologie. All my family, my extended family, most of them are in the tech field. So since I was born, it was fascinating because we had the worst internet connection, the worst computers. My uncle had I don't know, what do you call it? Cyber cafe. What is it called in English? It's internet cafe. I think it's called like that in English too. Where they had a lot of computers connected to the internet, and people would come there just to use it, and they would pay like for each hour they use the computer, or for how many minutes they use it. So yeah, it wasn't that common. Internet wasn't that common when I was a kid. It was still a new thing. Maybe at that time, I'm not sure, but at that time I think it was very common in the Western world. Maybe in America, every house had internet. Back then, no. I grew up with internet, but we didn't have it at our house, for example. I would only use it on weekends or when I go to my grandparents' house, because their house is connected to the internet cafe that my uncle used to run. They actually shut down last year or 2 years ago, which made me really sad. I'm really connected to that place. It made me really sad. That's the place I learned how to use computers, and the internet in general. So that's why I'm connected to technology, and maybe that's why I did not find negative sides for it. As I've said, even the negative things that I've said are just negative things of people, not social media in particular. I don't see something that just came from social media itself. Well, maybe there is. I'm not sure, because it's weird that I did not find any negative sides to it. So let me know. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can comment down below. If you're watching this on Anchor, is that what it's called? App? You can actually send me voice messages. I think people can see it too. I'm not sure. But you can do that. Let me know if you have any negative sides or positives. Tell me about your story. How do you see the social media or internet world? How old are you? Like, tell me, how old are you and how do you see it? How do you see social media? Because as I've said, I think it's different for each region and each generation. Each generation sees social media in a different way, I believe. Yeah. By the way, I don't know if I said this in this recording. I don't think that I've said that. I think I said it when I was recording for the first time. I'm actually recording while I'm laying down in my couch. I'm having fun. This is how we record these podcasts. Just having fun. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. If you made it that far, I'm really, really glad. And I will see you in the next episode. Peace.